My name is Stan Shapiro. I'm a co-founder of the Philadelphia Public Banking Coalition, and we have with us Pep Marie, who is the chair or the facilitator of the Our City, Our Schools Coalition. And we're going to have a little chat about public banking and public education. So Pep, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself and about the coalition.
Hi, I'm Pep Marie, and I'm the coalition coordinator for Our City, Our Schools.
Okay.
We are a coalition of youth, educators, parents, and community organizations fighting for educational justice here in Philly.
Pep, you're aware that we're attempting to create a public bank in Philadelphia. Wondering what you think a public bank could do for public education.
Yeah. So in Our City, Our Schools, we really try to center the needs and desires of students, their parents, and their teachers. Really, who is ever connected to the school. And so while we focus on what we want the Board of Education to invest in and divest from, we're also looking at what are new ways to bring revenue to our schools to really invest in the things that we want. And so we include a call for the public bank on our platform because we believe it's one of those ways to do that, to make sure that there is that resource in the Philadelphia School District to fund the things that we want. When you go to the school district and you ask for things, they're always like, we don't have the money, we're in debt, there's this enormous debt that we really don't know much about. We just know it's this hurdle that they always bring up. So when I think about a public bank in this moment and being able to have an impact on that debt and also have some more control over how we talk about debt, could have a huge impact on our schools.
So Pep, are you aware of the amount of debt service that the school district pays, and what's your reaction to that in terms of how that affects funding for the school district?
Yeah, I know that overall we're in like the 3 billion number with our debt service load, but for just the 2020 school year, we paid 147 million in interest, which is even more than the 137 million that we paid on principal. And so that's a huge amount of money that isn't even money that we borrowed. So when I think about this moment where we're able to refinance these loans at 1%, which is a lot lower than the 5% that they're at now, we could actually start to have a dent so that we're not owing all of this money on interest. Our schools need a whole lot of things that they don't have that our coalition focuses on. I think a big one is the toxic school conditions, and we know that the district does not have enough resources to address the asbestos and lead and pests in our school. And so when we think about borrowing for that, we don't want to keep borrowing at these really tremendous rates where we're just kind of getting stuck in a trap. We're ready to look at loans that really benefit our communities and are about getting us out of that debt, not trapping us there.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I'm really excited about with the public bank is that in our coalition, in Our City, Our Schools, we're really trying to push public schools as something that our communities own and that they should have control and feel like real ownership and deep connection to. And so when you think about the ways that lending have impacted our school communities as like a barrier and a narrative that there's not enough money, I get really excited about the idea of a public bank because I think Neighborhood Networks has really helped me to think about how we don't think about banks as something that could be publicly owned and that lending is something that could like be not a trap and could really support our communities. I think it really expands the idea of what it means for students, parents, teachers, their whole families, their communities to feel ownership of their schools and all of these public institutions that they interact with.